Everywhere I go, the children rise. Everywhere I go, the children rise. I saw them just rise up, the wicked run. I saw them just rise up, the wicked run. Equal rights and justice, and I defend. We won't run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. We won't run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. If you go in America, if you go in Canada, if you go in Africa, I saw them just rise up, the wicked run. I saw them just rise up, the wicked run. I saw them just rise up, the wicked run. We won't run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. We won't run away, run away, run away, run away, run away. I get it, rolling to the people, yeah. The fire burn, the wicked, wicked people, and the fire burn, the wicked, wicked men. The fire burn, them wicked, wicked friend. Fire burn on the wicked, burn along the dancing. The fire burn, the wicked, wicked country, and the fire burn, the wicked, wicked town. The fire burn, the wicked, wicked city. Fire burn on the wicked, burn them. When it's impossible to see what's become of our people in their life, we do with so much evil. We will wobble, a triple tongue and trouble them. Sell them soldiers to work for the devil. But judges say, judgment may soon come when the walls of our sword and once again can tumble down. Beautiful Nash, people them are more with judge you pour all these rocks and fire and bring so low. The fire burn them, wicked, wicked people, and the fire burn the wicked, wicked men. The fire burn them, wicked, wicked friend. Fire burn on the wicked, burn on all of them. They say the fire burn the wicked, wicked country. The fire burn the wicked, wicked town. The fire burn them, wicked, wicked city. Fire burn on the wicked, burn on Babylon. You know the people them must suffer and the whole of the time bleed while you spread your lies and propaganda, sow your bloody seed. The children working, the fingers to the bone while you pay all the money to some pretty face without a clothes. And your day will come, it will come. Just say when you beg the hills for cover, but the hills will run away. When we listen, when we love, it meant too late to have forgiveness when you will begin to open. The fire burn them, wicked, wicked people. The fire burn the wicked, wicked men. The fire burn them, wicked, wicked friend. Fire burn on the wicked, burn on all of them. And the arrow pressing, we shall overcome, but certain nations out instead. I give a little and even shed it, yes. Easy selling our daughters for some butter or the bread. The fathers giving their lives off the sun, doing battle for the devil, warring for the wicked one. You might think this is just another song, but the blood you spill, you calling out a long way. Yeah. The fire burn them, wicked, wicked people. The fire burn the wicked, wicked men. The fire burn them, wicked, wicked friend. Fire burn down the wicked, burn down all of them. They say fire burn them, wicked, wicked people. people, then the fire burn. The wicked, wicked men. The fire burn, the wicked, wicked men. Fire burn down the wicked, burn down all of them.
I want to say shalom and blessings to all of my brothers and sisters, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Elohim and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, our Mashiach came, who is over all, Elohim blessed forever and ever. Amen. I want to give praises, all praises, honor, and glory to our Heavenly Father, who is our sustainer. I want to give all praises to his one and only begotten Son, Yehoshua HaMashiach, our Redeemer, and all praises to his Ruach HaKodesh, his Holy Spirit, Spirit of comfort, and the Spirit of truth, the one and only divine Elohim, the great Elohim of our forefathers, the great Elohim of Adam, Enoch, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, all the prophets, all the apostles, and of all the chosen people unto this day. All praises to the Most High. I want to say shalom and blessings to everybody in the chat. Hope all is well. I want to welcome everybody back to today's discussion. We're going to be picking up where we left off yesterday. And for everybody who did come back from yesterday, I want to welcome you back. I don't know, maybe we will get what we had last night, maybe not, but I want to thank everybody in any case for your time. Your time is much appreciated and respected over here at the Salt of the Earth. I want to say shalom to the chat. Got Sister Maria Yakita. Shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Good to see you in the chat. Darnell Blackshear. Got the brother Darnell. Good to see you always in the chat. Hope all is well. Tommy D. Collins. Shalom and blessings to you as well. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you had a blessed day. Got the brother Aliyah Yashala, the mighty lion. Brother 1E1, shalom and blessings to you, bro. Good to see you again. And once we let everything out like we did, I'm going to put that link in the chat and let you chime in and express yourself like you did. Got Sister Keisha. Shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Michelle Y. Sister Michelle Y. Shalom and blessings to you. Good to see you in the chat. Got the Sister Unorthodox, daughter of Zion. Shalom and blessings to you. As always, good to see you in the chat as well. Sister Hadasai Ben Yah. Shalom and blessings to you. Good to see you in the chat. Got my love in the chat. Shalom to you and blessings. Good to see you as always in the chat. Kinder. Hope I'm getting that right. Shalom to you as well. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you had a blessed day today. Got the brother Smitty. Shalom, brother Smitty. Think you might be handling your business right now, but I'm going to put the link in there in case you can chime in too. Good to see you, brother Smitty. Yaquab 12, Yehuda. Shalom and blessings. Good to see you as always as well. Got the brother Jason Philip McCauley. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all about Brother Jason, man. He ain't no joke. Brother Jason been out there getting in some trouble, you know. But shalom and blessings to you. Good to see you. Got the brother Jabroni. Shalom to you. Jabroni got some stuff on deck too, y'all. Y'all sleeping on Jabroni. But I got your emails, bro. We're gonna grace the family with that real soon. Mikael, Yasharel, shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Good to see you in the chat. Hope you had a blessed day. Got the brother Hal Goodwin. Shalom and blessings, brother Hal. That link is in your email if you're able to chime in. Good to see you in the chat, my bro. Cindy Clark, Sister Cindy Clark, shalom and blessings. Good to see you in the chat. Midwest Judite, shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well with everybody. Good to see everybody in the chat. What I want to do first is I want to remind everybody once again about the part 2 of the supersessionism work. We had a big fellowship this past Saturday, this past weekend. We had a real good fellowship this past Shabbat. I'm gonna post these links in the chat for brothers and sisters who haven't had a chance to review these videos. Come get this work. And then the other video, the actual documentary part 2 of the supersessionism, is called Salvation and the Church Fathers, going more into detail, picking up where part 1 left off. And so part 2 will give you a more in-depth history of the Church Fathers and a lot of the things they did to deceive our people. And this is why we have a lot of deception that we have today. Shalom, Brother T. I ain't seen you in a while. I know you say you've been on a different schedule lately, but good to see you, bro, in the chat. Put the link in, and hopefully you can chime in later. Let us know what's been going on. But come get this work and Salvation of the Church Fathers. Feel free to go and check those out. As a matter of fact, let me put the link to that one as well. Put the link in. All right, that's that one. Shalom, Malek, Immaculate. What's good, family? Everything's all right, man. All praise to the Most High. Good to see you in the chat. So let me see what else. Also, let me get the website, trueebrew.com. I want to thank everybody who has went on the site. Go on to the website, hit the catalog tab, and from here you can check out all the merchandise we have on the site. One thing I want to do is let everybody know for anybody who does go on the site and you see anything you want on there, and let's say you spend up to a certain amount, $50. Anybody who goes on the site and spend $50, you'll automatically receive within your order a free brand t-shirt, whether you're a brother or a sister, and we'll keep track of that. If you're a brother, you'll get one specially for the brothers, and if you're a sister, you'll get one specially customized for the sisters. All right, but you can go on here, check out the different merchandise we have on the site. We're going to be adding some more stuff here soon, but that's that for the brothers and sisters who aren't aware of it and who haven't had a chance. Feel free to do so. Everybody who has, I want to thank you for that as well. And we're going to continue moving forward with the giveaways and the prizes in a lot of different forms. And I want to thank the brother Hal Goodwin for his sponsorship and his support in that. And so that's the website, trueebry.com. All right, so now there are a couple of things I wanted to get into. What is this here? No, I'm gonna save that for later. Let's do this. Let's get into an opening passage. You know, since we are dealing with the topic of our brothers and sisters, I want to open up with a passage. We're going to be picking up where we left off, dealing with the video, critiquing the video. And one thing I want to say about the video, a lot of people oftentimes when dealing with certain issues, they aren't able to receive based on the source, and that's understood. But the reason I'm using that that video as a backdrop is because this video expresses a lot of sentiments that we as brothers and sisters go through daily, particularly with one another, you know, and that dynamic with one another. And so Ecclesiasticus, another name for this book is the book of Sirach. I'm gonna read chapter 23. It says, O Yahuwah, Father and Governor of all my whole life, says, leave me not to their counsels, and let me not fall by them. Who will set scourges over my thoughts, and the discipline of wisdom over my heart, that they spare me not for mine ignorances, and it pass not by my sins. Or in other words, in this condition that we're in with no mercy, nobody having any mercy on us, who's going to set the scourges over our thoughts? Who's going to give us the discipline of wisdom? All right. Because one thing they will not do is they will not spare us for our ignorances. You know, ignorance of the law is not justification, especially when it comes to us. So he says, lest mine ignorances increase and my sins abound to my destruction. And I fall before mine adversaries, and mine enemy rejoice over me, whose hope is far from thy mercy. How many of us have fallen in this position? You know, living ignorantly, increasing in ignorance, increasing in our sins, and it leads to our destruction. And he says, I fall before mine adversaries, and mine enemy rejoice over me, whose hope is far from thy mercy. Our enemy's hope is far from mercy. They don't have mercy for us. He says, O Yahuwah, Father and Elohim of my life, give me not a proud look, but turn away from thy servants always a haughty mind. Turn away from me vain hopes and concupiscence. All right. This is for the brothers. Concupiscence is speaking of sexual lust, free sexual lust. Turn away from me vain hopes and concupiscence. And thou shalt hold him up that is desirous always to serve thee. Let not the greediness of the belly nor lust of the flesh take hold of me. And give not over me thy servant into an impudent mind. You know, what is that? The Testament of Benjamin says that he who has his mind right sees all things aright. But he says, give not over me thy servant into an impudent mind, or irrational and disrespectful mind. It says, hear, O ye children, the discipline of the mouth. He that keepeth it shall never be taken in his lips. The sinner shall be left in his foolishness. Both the evil speaker and the proud shall fall thereby. Accustom not thy mouth to swearing, neither use thyself to the naming of the Holy One. Say, accustom not thy mouth to swearing, neither use thyself to the naming of the Holy One. Always putting the Most High's name in things. It says, for as a servant thou is continually beaten, shall not be without a blue mark. So he that sweareth and nameth Elohim continually shall not be faultless. I swear to God, I swear to God, man, I swear to God. I put that on God, on God, on God. He says it's a price to pay for that. He say, a man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity, and the plague shall never depart from his house. If he shall offend, his sin shall be upon him. And if he acknowledge not his sin, he maketh a double offense. And if he swear in vain, he shall not be innocent, but his house shall be full of calamities. How many of us in this condition as brothers, as men? He said, a man that useth much swearing shall be filled with iniquity or lawlessness. So we have to guard our tongues. We have to guard what we listen to. We have to guard the things we say to the best of our ability. He said, there is a word that is clothed about with death. Elohim grant that it be not found in the heritage of Jacob. Death and life is by the power of the tongue. He said, there is a word that is clothed about with death. Elohim grant that it be not found in the heritage of Jacob. For all such things shall be far from the godly, and they shall not wallow in their sins. Use not thy mouth to intemperate swearing, for therein is the word of sin. Remember thy father and thy mother when thou sittest among great men. In other words, when you come up, don't forget where you come from. Don't forget the instruction of your mother and father when you come up, when you get in a good position. Don't forget the foundation. It says, be not forgetful before them, and so thou by thy custom become a fool, and wish that thou hadst not been born, and curse the day of thy nativity. This is how I believe a lot of them black politicians and stuff feel when they get around people and they despise their own, make them look foolish, especially to the people they trying to appeal to. But he said, and wish that thou hadst not been born. It says, the man that is accustomed to opprobrious words will never be reformed all the days of his life. Two sorts of men multiply sin, and the third will bring wrath. A hot mind is as a burning fire. It will never be quenched till it be consumed. All right. Talking about angry, you know, how a lot of brothers get angry and they do certain things, you know. says it will never be quenched till it be consumed. It says a fornicator in the body of his flesh will never cease till he hath kindled a fire. All right. Talking about how brothers be fornicating and lusting. Will never cease till he hath kindled a fire. Even so, to the point where you got men that will molest children just to fulfill this desire, this burning of the flesh. It says all bread is sweet to a whoremonger. He will not leave off till he die. All bread is sweet to a whoremonger. All right. Think about how a lot of brothers, every time they see a woman, they, gotta cut their eyes and go over and see what that is. That's what it's talking about. As many as he can get. It's a lot of sayings that go with that. I don't want to get into that, but it says he will not leave off till he die. Why? Because fornication, it says, is a pit to the soul, and it leads young men to Sheol before their time. Say a man that breaketh wedlock, saying thus in his heart, who seeth me? I am compassed about with darkness. The walls cover me, and nobody seeth me. What need I to fear? The Most High will not remember my sins. All right. Such a man only feareth the eyes of men, and knoweth not that the eyes of Yahuwah are 10,000 times brighter than the sun, beholding all the ways of men and considering the most secret part. Talking about how a lot of men, those men who do this, how they leave their women behind purposely, or they have no intent of being in that woman's life and helping to be a part of that child's life. And he's saying, don't nobody see me. They out there trying to get other women pregnant. But the Most High see everything. He say he considering the most secret parts. He says he know all things ever they were created. So also after they were perfected, he looked upon them all. So he understands all the ways of men. This is why any man who ever get to that point where you burning within your lust, pray to the Most High and ask him to help you put it in perspective. And say, this man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspected not, he should be taken. That sudden, that evil hidden death that Joseph was talking about, or Reuben, when he said because Joseph avoided fornicating with Potiphar's wife, he said the Most High protected him from every evil and hidden death. And this is what happens to a lot of brothers who live this way of life. We get caught up in this stuff, and then it says, this man shall be punished in the streets of the city, and where he suspected not, he shall be taken. Thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. All right, talking about the women who leave their husbands, or they decide that they're not happy with their husbands, so they leave. He said they bring in an heir by another. All right. You left your husband or the man you procreated with first. All right. Then got with another man and brought in an heir by another. If this is something that you're guilty of, then having knowledge of this now is a good time for you to acknowledge it and repent. I'm gonna show y'all something after we finish reading this. You know, we established yesterday that a lot of what we see in terms of our condition is due to our decisions as well as a system that's put in place. So if we make ourselves open to the system, then they're going to take advantage of that. But it says, thus shall it go also with the wife that leaveth her husband and bringeth in an heir by another. For first she had disobeyed the Torah of the Most High. Right? Meaning what? You left your husband, right? And according to Mashiach, you are to be reconciled to your husband. You're not to leave or separate from your husband and marry another woman. Another man. But he said you disobeyed the Torah of the Most High. And secondly, she had trespassed against her own husband. And thirdly, she had played the whore in adultery and brought children by another man. So this is what happens a lot of times with us. I know this happens with a lot of other people, but this is something the Most High said would befall us as a means of coming into these nations, living in these nations, But then also a lot of our people started to do these things while they were in the land. This is why they got kicked out of the land. He said, she shall be brought out into the congregation, and inquisition shall be made of her children. Her children shall not take root, and her branches shall bring forth no fruit. She shall leave her memory to be cursed, and her reproach shall not be blotted out. All right. Just like the men, he said he gonna be punished in the streets, and where he suspected not, he should be taken. All right. Same thing with the women. All right. Same thing. It says her reproach shall not be blotted out. And they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than to fear Yahuwah, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of Yahuwah. It is great glory to follow Yahuwah, and to be received of him is long life. That's Sirach chapter 23. I'm going to take a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to get into the continuation of the video dealing with our black men weak and docile, and our black women strong and angry. All right. Also, I want y'all to put your thoughts on what we read in Sirach chapter 23 here. I want to know what y'all thoughts are in the chat. Shalom and blessings, everybody. I want to thank you for your time once again. I'll be right back. Shalom.
APT, TMH.
Hey, Kane, you got another one?
Yes. I had to return. It's a prophecy in the making. Hop back in. Switch from 23 to 45. So I rocked the 9 like MJ. Glock 19 wasn't enough.
You got another one?
We the people. Crafty council plots to cut us off. Slave trade, homie, what a steal. Now the stage is set for the world. My people. And it's a damn shame. We like the Walking Dead. I try to wake up the ox, but they get mad instead. They love the man's religion, modern day slavery. Y'all give the Most High fruit when he once was savory. They'll even kill for it. Am I my brother's keeper? Yes. Blood swallowed by the ground, guess he couldn't keep it.
I'm bringing him out, yeah. Running my mouth, yeah. This is his house, you gotta bounce with my alarms, yeah. I'm bringing him out, yeah. Running my mouth, yeah. This is his house, you gotta bounce with my alarms, yeah.
Bring it out.
Underlying truth coming from inside the booth. Underlying truth coming from inside the booth. That's undying truth. That's undying truth. That's undying truth coming from the lying truth.
Now that you have heard the truth, what the you gonna do? You choose to keep your stubborn ways or step into your royal roots. King, we have a job to do. Our sisters are looking like prostitutes. I'm proud of the curves you're born with, sis. Don't have they lips in the ass and the boobs. Our brothers are feeling the weight of it too. Can't talk about those converts without being blasted by the news. Try to keep us silent, but the truth is still shining through. Shout out to the brews who went before us on their shoulders. I never forget what they did to you. I pray that I don't get too comfortable. Use my life to mirror how horrible the death of your son, the anointed one who hung on the tree for my salvation.
I'm bringing him out, yeah. Running my mouth, yeah. This is his house.
And shout out to all those who hung on trees.
Yeah. I'm bringing him out, yeah.
Your
Running
death
my
was not
mouth,
in vain.
yeah. This is his house. You gotta bounce with my alarms, yeah.
It's prophecy. My people gotta wake up.
From inside the booth.
It's the year of the awakening.
Coming from inside the booth. That's undying truth. That's undying truth. That's undying truth coming from the lying truth.
Shalom and shalom and blessings, everybody. Let me, before we continue, trying to keep up with all my tabs here. This is the Fair Use Act disclaimer. All right. This site is for educational purposes only. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Fair use. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, education, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All right, so I said before we got into anything that I was going to share something with y'all after that passage. All right, so here we go. This is the same book, Sirach, chapter 4. I'm going to start at verse 24. It says, "For by speech wisdom shall be known, and learning by the word of the tongue." Verse 25 says, "In no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed for the error of thine ignorance." All right. This is my response for anybody who has an issue with anything that comes out tonight, because this is just purely to deal with the truth. All right. And I don't have to, express that it's not about men and women or this and that. This is about the information. If you're a man or a woman and the information applies to you, the word of the Most High says, in no wise speak against the truth, but be abashed of the error of thine ignorance. It says, be not ashamed to confess thy sins, and force not the course of the river. All right. Force not the course of the river. How people say, cry me a river. Or how people get extra emotional and angry as a means not to confess or to be ashamed for the error of their ways. Be not ashamed to confess thy sins, and force not the course of the river. Make not thyself an underling to a foolish man, neither accept the person of the mighty. All right. And this is for me. Anybody on this live tonight feel that I'm a foolish man, you don't have to sit there and listen to me. Try everything that I'm saying tonight and everything that I bring out tonight by the Spirit and by the word of the Most High. The whole purpose of this is to shine light in darkness. Our people are in darkness. And so I wanted to share that tonight. In no wise or in no way speak against the truth. All right. Now I'm going to play the video. We're going to pick up where we left off. And once again, this is just serving as a backdrop. A lot of points were made that are relevant to a lot of things that we see today. So I want to address these things. And so as we get into it, we're going to listen to the things that's being expressed and see how and if these things apply to us. Are Black men weak and docile, and are Black men and are Black women rather angry and strong? Are these stigmas? Are these just stigmas placed on us, or are these realities within our people? All right, let's check this out.
Let me tell you why. First, I want to say that it's not true that most Black women are strong. It's just that the men are so weak and make the woman look like she's strong. But most Black women, not all, but most Black women are angry.
No.
They resent the Black man because of his weakness, right? And
well, why, if that's the case, if you're saying that a Black woman resent a Black man because of his weakness, why? It sounds like to me that you're saying that the solution would be to marry a white man or a man of a different color, a different race. That would be the answer to the Black woman's problem.
Why are you getting that impression?
Well, because you keep saying that the Black woman is angry because of the Black men being so weak, and the woman is disappointed.
Where do you think her anger comes from? If it's not from resenting her father and the men in her life for being weak, where is that anger coming from?
I don't believe that every Black woman is angry, or even most Black women are angry. I don't believe that they are.
But let me tell you the solution. The solution is not to marry a white woman or marry out the race. The solution is to start dealing with it, being honest about what went wrong so that we can change the situation. It's the truth that's going to set us free from it.
But you know what? You have
what we're saying is that face what happened to you, forgive, because when you forgive others, then God will forgive you, and so that you don't repeat that cycle. It's not Black men or the Black woman shouldn't leave their race. They start dealing with the issue. Black women deserve to have a good, strong Black man. And so
this is where we left off yesterday when we dealt with the video. So real quick, if Jesse Lee Peterson, and I know a lot of people don't really agree with a lot of his ideologies and things, but in terms of this conversation, if what he just said was correct, hit a 1, and if not, hit 2. I'm a give some time for that, just to see how brothers and sisters are thinking on this. He said that a lot of Black women are angry and frustrated because of the weaknesses of Black men and how Black men have fell short, basically. Her response was that, well, if you're saying that, then you're saying the solution for a Black woman is to marry outside their race. But his response was not to marry outside the race, but to deal with the issues and try to move forward so that our people can be progressive. So if you agree with that, put 1. If not, put 2. I particularly want to hear from the sisters in the chat on this. I'm gonna wait maybe a minute or so and see what kind of responses we get. Okay. Brother Elias said 1. All right, he's correct. Since the Pissy Lola said 1. Hadasai Ben Yah said 1. Point is, she still did it. I don't get what that mean. Pissy Lola. Oh yeah, I already got her 1. Say some Black men are moist. I'm looking for a 1 or a 2. Michelle Y 1. Sister Shibria 1. Unorthodox 1. Keisha 1. Sister Cindy Clark said 2. All right, so you have some who are in agreement that the solution is not to look outside the race, but to deal with the issues and try as best we can to face the issues. And some don't agree that that's the solution. All right, so as always, this is one of the many divides in Israel. All right. But we're gonna move forward.
We're asking Black men to drop their anger to forgive so that they can be men and do it in the right way.
So you're saying the Black man and the Black woman is angry?
Yes.
So anger plus anger is anger.
That's right.
So you're saying we're just one big race of angry people?
Most of us are, yes. Most Black people are just angry.
And what would be your solution?
And it almost seems as now she's willing to admit that Black women are part of this anger, as long as he's willing to admit that Black men are part of this anger as well, which is what we've been trying to establish the whole time. We're not saying that the brothers are not going through these weaknesses and not experiencing these things. And this is why when I see sisters put stuff in the chat like brothers is moist and this and that, like I get that, but at the same time I see that as an insult to Black manhood overall. Moist Black men come from single Black women. Moist Black men come from women who don't need men to be a part of their children's lives. Moist black men grow up around women picking up feminine energy. So we agree that there are a lot of moist black men. There are a lot of men who don't have a backbone, and it's not to be ridiculed, because that really defines the state of your people. Black women are no more stronger than this society allows them to be. I want to show y'all a strong black woman real quick. I'm gonna stop sharing this. And once again, this is putting it in perspective. Give me a second, let me pull this up. Strong black women. And when we understand strength and what that's really about, strength is really beneficial if it's applied in proper places. All right.
Writing's not.
If you're an athlete, I'm gonna explain something real quick. In athletics, you have strength and then you have finesse. All right. And both are necessary. Both are strengths. There are situations where you have to apply physical strength. There are situations where you have to apply finesse. However, both of those are strengths. You need both in order to be complete as an athlete. You have to know when to retract. You got to know when to resist, you know. And for those who understand athletics, understand what I'm talking about. It's the same thing in any situation. And so when you have women who are more quote unquote strong than men, what does that really mean? I want to show y'all something real quick. Fair use on this. This is a video that I came across. And this is not, like I said, I'm just trying to put it all in perspective. You know, when we talk about black women being bold and strong, you know, let me show you something. You can't get no more bold or strong than to represent your country. All right. These are the strongest people, those people who put their life on the line for their country. All right, I want y'all to see this. Hold on.
Video.
Y'all, because hold on, I gotta move start right now. Y'all don't understand how mad I am right now. Like, this the reason people don't be wanting to re-enlist. You know, the army got me fucked up. How the army got you fucked up today, Wells? Well,
She dancing, living the good life off army money. Living the good, oh yeah, okay, yeah, going crazy off the army money. Now it's time to divvy up.
A few moments later.
well, I'm gonna try to keep it together. But so I just want to make this TikTok because I was just on live this morning, and of course we all know Russia invaded Ukraine. But in this TikTok, like, of course, you know, okay, I'm in uniform. Everybody knows what's going on. So, of course, everybody coming in with the Ukraine, Russia, and all of that, you know, comments or whatever, asking questions. And I'm just like, I'm not here for that. I'm not addressing any of that. But then, like, it's just like, I really hate it how people are so insensitive, especially like, and it's like, it's the civilians. But they're so insensitive to like what military people really go through. This is my first term. And like, it's like y'all, like, what makes me so mad is like y'all are so insensitive. Y'all want to talk about, oh, this is what you signed up for. This is what you. Nobody goes into the military wanting to go to war, thinking they're going to go to war. I'm financed, for crying out loud. Nobody thinks this is going to happen. But like civilians, y'all get to go home. Y'all get to go to y'all families. Y'all go to work. Y'all know what y'all life is going to be. My life is so unpredictable. I could be deployed within the next few days. Like, I really just like, I didn't come into the army for this. And it's just, it really like, it kind of, it hurts me. Like, and I don't really like to let stuff affect me, but this is affecting me because this is my life.
I'm going to stop it right there. All right. Now, who signs up in the army not knowing the possibility of possibly being deployed or something happening? What's the purpose of going through basic training? You know, basic training is for the purpose of everybody being somewhat trained and prepared in the case that something does happen. But now you get called out, and now this ain't what you signed up for. But all the time before that, we're strong and independent. This is what I'm saying. Now, all the men that I know that's in the military, they signed up with that possibility of knowing that they have to travel, knowing that they may have to do something else. They may not want to do it. But it is what it is. So this idea of strong women being strong, I'm not against that. But what I'm saying is that a woman's strength is in other areas, and these areas are vacant right now. All of the areas where the Most High really ordained a woman to be strong, most of these areas are vacant. And most of these areas, whenever these things are brought out, are taken as belittlement, when in fact, these are the most essential parts or the most essential elements. I'm gonna go back to the video. That's just one example. I could really do this all night, and it's not to insult, it's to put things in perspective. Once again, you can't exhibit no greater strength, like the Most High said, how a man lays down his friends for his life for his friends, right? No greater love have a man than to lay down his life for his friends. And this is one of the creeds that they go by in the military. When they go out and fight, their standard is that, or their belief is that they're laying their life down for their nation, for the people. So now when it comes time to do that, what you signed up for is not what you signed up for. You signed up for the benefits. Let's get some more.
Facing it and forgiving.
Facing and forgiving.
When you forgive, then God will change you. He'll change you from that anger. Do you disagree with me that most Black women are angry?
I do disagree with you.
You disagree with me too?
Totally.
Okay, this afternoon when you get back home, go to the post office or to any local bank and ask that Black woman more than one question. That's my test. You can test it just at the post office.
But see, maybe you ran into that problem.
No, you have too.
I haven't. I ran into it with not
person?
only a Black woman.
I'm sorry?
I haven't just ran into that with a Black woman. I've ran into that
of
with
course.
all races,
but
not only at the post office or
right.
at the bank, but at the grocery store.
With that Black teller, female teller, huh?
No, No. I've ran into very few people. We are not all angry.
I-
Just
I-
Not
because
all.
you were
I'm
angry.
saying not
Well,
all.
I have a
most of us are
business.
not.
Let me
I
ask
have a
you first.
You
business.
were in
and
that
I know, but
group.
let me ask this first, ladies.
Okay.
And I agree that not all of our sisters are angry or come off angry. You know, it's just that when you look at our demographic as people in this nation, where we live, where we're settled, where we come from, if you come from that side of things, then you're gonna get a lot of that. And that's just the truth of the matter. You know, not all the sisters come off angry, but a large majority of our sisters do come off as angry and strong and independent. Just like a lot of our brothers come off as weak and docile, most of them. That's true. So once again, if we're going to heal as a people, we have to acknowledge both sides, you know. And I know it may seem like a lot of times the women may be picked on more, or a lot more may be said about the woman, but let me do it, man. I'm finna go on and do it. Give me a second, child. Let me pull this up. I'm gonna show y'all why this may seem like a lot of times when we talk about these issues, a lot of times it may seem like the women are being called out more. But let me show you something. And I know a lot of, let me see, give me a second. A lot of sisters are, give me a second, y'all. I gotta pull this up. I gotta look this up. Question. Okay. I want to show y'all this, and I'm aware that a lot of people are aware of this. All right. But being aware of it and numbing ourselves to it don't make it of none effect. Just like when the brothers read the scriptures. When I read scriptures that pertain to what men do and the things that I've done in the past, you know, that I reflect on at times, you know, it doesn't do away with the effect of it. All right. This is Sirach chapter 25 in verse 19. It says, all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Why is it saying this? Before I answer that and before we move on, I want somebody in the chat to tell me, why is it saying this? Why is it saying that all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman? Can somebody explain to me in the chat briefly, why is it saying that? Somebody help me out. While y'all doing that, I'm gonna pull up something else real quick. Then we're gonna get back into the video. Why is it saying that all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman? Let me pull up something else right quick. She say, you know all about women. Well, I know what I know. I know what I know. And I know my wife. But I'm asking a question. Why does it say that? Nobody? It says, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna show y'all why I said that. Let me see. Let's see what we got. It says, through the woman death came. That's true. But we're gonna see. It says because of our influence. That's true as well. Influence, persuasiveness, you know, the effect that you have on a man, the ability that you have to sway a man, and all this stuff is documented. It says a woman's spiritual wickedness is usually laced with intent to do spiritual harm. Usually, most oftentimes, yep. Or to gain an advantage over whoever she's dealing with. Brother 1E1 said Eve did the greatest sin. And that's something we're going to reveal right now. I think that's Brother Bunyah, maybe. It says, of the woman came the beginning of sin, and through her we all die. Yep, that's in alignment with Sister Shebria was saying, through the woman came death. That's the actual reference, Sirach 25 and 24. Probably because the half started with the woman. Truthfully, I have no idea. It's a lot of good explanations. Go ahead and call me your byword, whatever that means. Because she mixed it with manipulation. All right, I'm going to go ahead and bring it out. Let me get a couple of more. It was all ordained to be the way that it is, and we all have room for improving. No one is without sin. Not one is perfect. I agree with that 100%. Because when women in a society become wicked, there is no hope for that society. And I agree with that 100% as well. This is why we hear women are the first teachers. Women are really, if y'all want to be true, the women are the heads of the homes. The man is the head of the woman. The Bible tells the woman to order the house aright, order the home aright, be a keeper at home, you know, be a good steward at home. The woman is the head of the home. The man is the head of the woman. Man's weakness to give into temptation of the woman who was counsel. Yeah, man have weaknesses, but a man's weakness does not control or dictate what women do. A woman can use a man's weakness to her advantage. Unorthodox dropping knowledge. All right, I'm finna go on and bring it out. Why did it say that? What did it say? It said that all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. All right, let's bring this out. I don't want nobody to think I'm creating anything or trying to create hatred or variance. I'm just showing y'all what happened. This is in the beginning. It says, and the serpent said unto me, this is talking about Eve, as Elohim liveth, I am distressed on thine account, for thee to be like unto beasts, I desire thee not to be brutish and without knowledge. All right, so this is, excuse me, the serpent speaking to our foremother Eve. It says, but arise now, come hither, and hearken to me, and eat, and ye shall know and esteem the tree. And I said unto him, I fear, lest Elohim be wroth with me, as he told us. And he said to me, fear not, for as soon as thou eatest of it, thine eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as Elohim, knowing good and evil. For Elohim knoweth that ye shall be like him. So he envied thee and said, ye shall not eat of it. Hast thou not faced the tree and seen its great glory and covering upon it? And it came to pass, when I feared to take of the fruit, he said unto me, come hither, go with me, and I will give it to thee. So she was afraid to take the fruit, all right, because she knew what the Most High said, but the enemy came in and pretty much gave his own mandate. In other words, he replaced Elohim as he replaced the Most High as Elohim when she yielded to him. This is why the scriptures say the earth is given into the hands of the wicked. It says, and I opened unto him, and he went before me. And when he walked a little, he turned unto me and said, I repent. I will not give thee to eat until thou swear to me to also give to thy husband. So Satan said, I'm not going to give you the fruit unless you swear to me to give to your husband. Let's see what she did. It says, and I said, I know it's not what oath I shall swear to thee. All right. So she's finna make an oath. What do we say people do today in the record industry or in the movie industry in order to get famous and to be prosperous in life and to have all these things? They make an oath. Or if you want to simple it all the way down, they sell their souls. Watch this. She said, I said, I know it's not what oath I shall swear unto thee. Howbeit, this I know. I said, by the throne of Yahweh, and by the cherubim, and by the tree of life, for I will give also to my husband and eat. So our foremother Eve swore by the throne of the Most High, and by the angels of his presence, and by the tree of life, which is reserved for us who reign with Mashiach. She swore by all these things that she would give to her husband. What more of an oath can you make? All right. Or how much further or higher can you go? The Most High even said that he can't swear by no other name except his own. And she went to that degree and made a vow with the devil to give to her husband so that he'll eat the fruit. Somebody asked what book this was. This is the account of Adam and Eve, the Hebrew account of Adam and Eve. So all wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. All right. A lot of women complain about men cheating on them. So what? How many times you cheated on him? That's not, that's considered evil and wicked to a lot of sisters when men do that. But if you're so righteous, why are you in the mix with a man like that? No other righteous women that we read about in the scriptures was in a mix like that with wicked fornicating men. So why is that such an issue today with a lot of our sisters? And you know, we know how much the brothers are off course. But why do we have so many of our sisters yielding to that and using that as a means to justify the things that they do? Why do we have so many brothers swirling off and doing what they do and using the fact that, man, I can't find a decent black woman or this and that? Why are you using that as an excuse? We have a brother right here who just told us that the answer is not to go outside, it's to deal with the issues. Everybody's circumstances is different. However, the truth is the truth. And if we are in error, then we are not to in no wise speak against the truth. No matter what condition we in. If it's against what the Most High said, he said that when we find out about it, we are to repent, acknowledge it. However he works it out for us from that point is how he works it out. But we have to keep it real and true. And that's what we're not doing. Let's get some more.
You hear me saying not all.
Yes, we do
Okay,
hear you saying not
we'll go
all.
with not all.
Okay, your
But let's-
husband's out. I'm on the way home. I'm saying not all, but most. Not all.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
even dealing
Now, I
with
want you
most,
guys to go
most
to the
is
post
a
office and
significant
find out.
number. It's a
Okay.
significant number.
Right.
And I'm in business, and I have all kind of races, all kind of women, men come through the store, children, and I don't lose my temper with them. I'm asked the same question over and over. I deal with people
So
every
you're
day.
in that category of not all, but most.
Yes,
So
but
you're not a part of the most, right? You're the exceptions to the rule.
yes, but I found that I found more women that has more of my attribute than not. Yes.
How many? There must be 10 women in Plainville, and that's all, right?
No.
Let me ask you this: you guys are denying that most black women are angry. You're denying that.
I'm denying it.
And both of you are a preacher. Are
Yes.
you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
And you're denying that most black women on TV,
Right.
they're gonna
on
put the
TV.
camera right in your face.
Yes.
On TV, you're denying that most black women are so angry.
I'm a black woman and I'm not angry.
So why do
and
you
my
think?
father wasn't always in the home. And I think I made a pretty good person.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
interview
my
your
father,
husband.
and I love you can.
You
said.
seem you're all
And I
sweet and
love-
nice. I bet you're hard to live with.
I love no. Not
You
at
listen
all.
to your husband?
Yes, I do.
Is he your head?
Yes.
And so when your husband tell you to do something, you do it without
Yes.
lifting up. Okay, I'm gonna talk to him next time I come back. All right.
You're more than welcome to do so.
Why do you think so many black men are marrying non-black or getting involved with non-black women?
He said, why do you think so many black men are marrying or getting involved with non-black women? I want to get some thoughts on this. Same way from the brothers and the sisters. Why so many black men, and I'm gonna even include black women. Why are so many black men and black women marrying outside? He said, I'm good. I will stay married to the Most High. These men want to control women's abilities to breed. No, thank you. Wow. I don't know what kind of men you're dealing with. And that I want to ask that question too. What when a lot of sisters say that men are controlling, all right, number one, In what way? What does that really mean when you say that men are controlling? They want to control women's abilities to breed. What does that actually mean? Somebody help me out with that. He said, you're hard to live with. I want to talk to you. Yeah. He tested a little bit with that. He said, we've seen many micro examples of a man, the head, making something of himself, and his woman still ain't followed. Prime example of that is the quote unquote power couple that everybody used to love. And now we're seeing the public display of the bubble that bursts within that. I remember what she said. She said, I am not an angry black woman. Y'all love is too amazing. Amen. Like I said, if it's not for all women. There are some sisters who are pleasant in their spirits. But if we be honest, whenever this issue is brought up, what I see oftentimes, and I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all. Every black woman in this chat right now know at least 5 women with your hand. And I ain't gonna say every, I'm gonna say most of the sisters, probably 90% of the sisters in this chat right now know at least 3 to 5 women in your life that are unpleasant, unruly, hard to deal with, foul, just all that. Personally, 90% of the sisters in this chat right now know women like that personally. But what I see oftentimes is that whenever these issues are brought up, a lot of the sisters will cape. Sister Maria Yakita says she don't. Like I said, not everybody. And even if you're a person who are you may have separated yourself from that. That don't mean you don't know people personally. And so this is the thing, like for every one sister, there's at least 3 to 5 more sisters that fit these qualifications that we're talking about. And this is what we're bringing out. If the sisters in this chat are the exception to the rule, then this is not about you. But why don't we have more sisters who are an exception to the rule reaching out to these types of sisters, building platforms to draw in these types of women? Like I said, it's not a lot of encouragement for women who do choose to submit. And that's my whole thing. I believe a woman should submit to and reverence her husband, but I also believe that that's her choice. Just like the Most High says before us, life and death, good and evil. It's a woman's choice to submit to her husband. This is why the Bible instructs a woman in doing that. This is the result you're going to get. But what's up, brother Yash? I see you in the chat. He said, I think they're ashamed of their color and look at the white women of as exotic. That's the issue we have too. Looking at the standard of beauty that's set that don't really fit where we are, what we do. She said, I missed the mission of Salt of Earth, which was given to our people hope. It seems like a wrecking ball has been taken to it. All right, shalom. I mean, we have to break up the hard hearts. This ain't for everybody. I'm gonna just be real with y'all right now. What I do is for the love of the Most High, for the love of my people. All right. And we appreciate the support. However, my mission is not to please anybody. I'm not doing this for views. If I was doing this for views, this is the wrong content to be doing if you're trying to get views. Dealing with the scripture and history and all this kind of stuff. So just understand that. If you've been fellowshipping with us long enough, you know that about us right now. So we don't want to get into all that, but we just want to keep it true. All right, let's get some more.
If it's not because of the anger.
It's just the fast that's going on. That's all.
And why
And
do
they're
you
just
think
doing
that?
what other people do.
I think it's because we are strong. And I think it's because you just can't tell us anything. And when you look at different interracial relationships, I think that most of the things that Black people go through, especially women, I think once we have a made up mind and we're determined to do what God has called us to do, and the opportunities have been made available for doors for us to walk through, I think we're not going to let anyone stop us.
So now this is another thing. This is why a lot of sisters say that Black men are intimidated by Black women, doing this and doing that and doing this and achieving this. And notice that a lot of what a lot of sisters think that the Most High is calling them to do is contrary to the things that's written. All right. It's contrary to that. A lot of what the sisters are conditioned to do is contrary to the things that will help a family unit be successful and thrive. And so it's not intimidation, it's frustration. It's frustration on both sides. You're dealing with a system that's already keeping us closed up. So in order to thrive and achieve a certain level as a Black man, you have to excel. You have to go hard. Nothing wrong with that. But that doesn't denote respect. Just because a man get up and go to work every morning and pay all the bills and take care of the whole house, that doesn't denote respect. This is where a lot of the men who have done that need to start speaking up and giving their testimonies. We're not punks for speaking out. The Most High said, cry out. He listening to our cries. That one issue alone is affecting the household. And if it's affecting the household, then it's affecting the nation. If men are saying, man, I'd rather live on a housetop or the roof. I'm finna go live on the roof now than to live in the house with this woman. How many situations like that you think can happen and you think you can build a nation out of that? What's happening to cause that? I said yesterday, flat out, that our sisters just simply don't want to submit at all. Whether you're a man that pay all the bills, whether you're the man that do this and do that, our sisters just simply don't want to submit. It's in their heart, number one, and it's in the conditioning. It ain't nothing to be ashamed about. Let's just call it out. It is what it is. Why should they want to submit when they're told and conditioned that you don't need a man for this, or you don't need a nigga for that? That's what's said. That's the word. You don't need no nigga for this. You don't need no for this. You don't need that. Why should they? It's just all in the system we live in, and also what's in our hearts. We yield into that. Let's get some more.
From obtaining what God has already ordained for us to have. And I think a lot of times black men have a problem with just allowing us to be who we are. I think that they have something within them. Most of them, not all, have something within them where they need to feel that they have a valid role in life. They're not being validated by society. That they Society say that they can never measure up to their white counterpart. So instead of fighting that issue and dealing with that issue, they try to dominate and control women and make them feel inferior so that they can feel superior. And that way, they feel like they do have a valid place in life or in society. And I think sometimes they can be hard on women and they don't love women the way Christ instituted for them to love women.
And
They
why
look at
don't-
women as being property instead of loving the woman, because even Adam said, wow, this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. If you dishonor a woman, you're dishonoring yourself. And only a disturbed, crazy, deranged person would self-mutilate.
All right, she said a mouthful right there. She spoke on I'm gonna run it back.
Issue to be who we attaining what God has already.
All right, she mentioned how black men have an issue with black women obtaining the things that God has for them to obtain, which makes no sense at all. Black men have no problem with black women obtaining the things that the Most High has for them to obtain. Black women have a problem with that. The scriptures and the Bible all together is clear on the things that women are to obtain. There are women who done exceptional things in Israel. However, these women didn't do these things to be independent or to be elevated or to feel independent, or they didn't need anybody. There's a lot of history behind the women that stand out in Israel. And so when you look at the scriptures, everything that the Most High has for the woman to obtain and to have is documented. The problem is a lot of our sisters have a problem with that. A lot of our sisters have a problem with modesty. A lot of our sisters have a problem with loving their husbands and their children. A lot of our sisters have an issue with that. And so when men start to express those things, hey, you shouldn't dress that way. Hey, you shouldn't behave that way. You shouldn't present yourself that way. You should be more ladylike. When men start to speak on those things, then all of a sudden now the men are controlling. Y'all have a problem with us being who we are. Well, who are you? Isaiah, the 3rd chapter, will tell you who you are, if that's you. And this is what men have a problem with. I want to get some more.
Already ordained for us to have. And I think a lot of times black men have a problem with just allowing us to be who we are. I think that they have something within them. Most of them, not all, have something within them where they need to feel that they have a valid role in life. They're not.
Now, this is where it gets to the part where a lot of times I express where how sometimes sentiments are expressed towards black men, and these things, in my view, are insults to black men. You know, like for instance, if you're a black man, and let's say you make a decent amount of money. You don't make a whole lot of money, but you make a decent amount of money, and you're able to do with your money things that, you know, people who have a lot of money can do because you know how to use your money wisely. But let's say you just a decent brother, average, you know, money making, and a lot of sisters will look at a man like that and feel like he's not enough, or he's not accomplishing enough, or he doesn't have enough, you know, or he's not exactly what she want, you know, he don't make the amount of money she feels like he should make, or let's say she may be making a certain amount of money or more than him, you know. A lot of women will look at men like that and ridicule those men. They'll say, I can't get with a man unless he's making a certain amount of money, or he's making this amount of money, or unless he's doing this for a living. And a lot of times what that is a reflection of is what black men are not doing. I remember a long time ago when black men wasn't working a lot of jobs were scarce when it comes to black men. There were a lot of sisters saying that these black men ain't working, they don't want to work. All right. And a lot of black men weren't working. You know, the job market was stiff. I know I was out there during that time. I was working, and I just know how things were during that particular time. They had a lot of jobs who were trying to meet quotas. I was actually in the middle of a quota situation where they had to hire a certain amount of black people. There was this white guy working with a temp agency, and I started working there, and he kind of got jealous of me because they offered me a position. He had been working there, but they was dealing with the quota thing. So jobs were scarce. However, when jobs started to pick up, you started to see a lot of brothers started working now. A lot of temp agencies and stuff hiring brothers now. Then the narrative changed. Now a lot of our sisters started saying, I don't want no 9-to-5 nigga. I don't want no 9-to-5 dude. So it went from brothers ain't working, he need to get a job doing something, to now I don't want no 9-to-5 dude. So a lot of these things are insults in a way. I'll submit to a righteous man. What you're insinuating is that in your heart, you don't believe a black man can be righteous enough or righteous at all. However, he could be good for something. He could be useful for something, because women have needs too, right? So I'll submit to a righteous man. All of these are just expressions of a reflection of self. A lot of women get with brothers who really try to work with them and try to be with them and try to build with them, but that ain't what they trying to do. They don't really want to come under this brother's leadership or guidance because they holding on to whatever they went through in the past, or whatever they mama taught them, or whatever they saw their mamas go through. A lot of men the same way. We grow up without the proper leadership, guidance, And we have to be fueled by what we saw growing up. Most of us are living trying to avoid things that we saw growing up. Most of us grew up learning what not to do more than what to do. Let's get some more.
Being validated by society. Society say that they can never measure up to their white counterpart. So instead of fighting that issue and dealing with that issue, they try to dominate and control women and make them feel inferior. So that
Somebody help me understand that. Help me understand how do men try to dominate women? Because all of this is really just a white woman's talking point. This is what white women have went through with their men. And this is why they tried to rise with the feminist movement. And they use our women as a means of beefing up their numbers. But how do men try to control women? Black men have not been the heads or leaders. Remember, that's one of the standards in this nation within the law, that black men have no rights that white men have to respect or honor. That's one of the standards. So the domination of men, that's really just a talking point. You know, I can show y'all so much stuff historically, videos, everything that show that that's not really the case. Let's get some more.
that they can feel superior, and that way they feel like they do have a valid place in life or in society. And I think sometimes they can be hard on women, and they don't love women the way Christ instituted for them to love women.
And
They
why
look at
don't-
women as being property instead of loving the woman, you know, because even Adam said, wow, this is bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. If you dishonor a woman, you're dishonoring yourself. And only a disturbed, crazy, deranged person would self-mutilate.
As far as I know, growing up, we always honored black women. Everybody loved Big Mama. Everybody loved Big Mama in the neighborhood. And I'm going to just be honest. Growing up, this is what I was taught when it comes to women. I was always taught, of course, to always be respectful, be kind to a woman. But I was taught that the reason you be kind to women as a young man, all right, and this is some good advice, all right, for anybody out there that's young. If you know young men, you tell them stuff like this. I don't know if it'll work this day and time. Stuff crazy now, but you know, just for the hope of any young man who may desire to be with a decent young woman, you always treat women with respect and kindness. You know, you don't be no sucker for a woman, but you treat them with respect and kindness, because you never know who may come back around or if somebody may come back around. You know, and for some people it happens like that. You know, that's what I was taught. I was never taught to disrespect no female or really even raise my voice or put my hands on a female or none of that. And so this idea that black men don't love black women, I think that's just another straw man to justify how you really want to feel and what you really want to do. Like I said, a lot of our sisters do not want to submit at all. They don't want to do it. And there's a reason for that. That goes back to what happened in the beginning. But most black men growing up in single women households, we grow up loving women. We grow up reverencing women. You know, even Tupac made a song about his mama. In the worst condition, he still gave her the glory. So I'm not seeing that and I'm not feeling that.
So why don't black men love black women?
I don't think that they don't love them.
You just said they didn't.
No, I'm saying if they mistreat them and abuse them and dishonor them, it's just like dishonoring and abusing themselves. And only a disturbed person would self-mutilate.
What type of man would want?
My fault, y'all. Let me get it back. My fault. Hit the wrong button. All right, but she made a point. She said that a lot of black men don't love their women like Christ loved the church. All right. Now, how did Christ love the church? He gave his life for it, right? We know he gave his life for the church. We know the church is the congregation, his people. Obviously, I'm sure she don't understand none of that. This is an old video anyway, but I'm sure she don't understand none of that. All right, but he gave his life for the church. He also gave the church instructions, right? The very church he laid his life down for. He gave them instructions. And then he said to that same church, if you love me, then keep my instructions. He laid his life down for the church. He gave the church instructions. And then he gave the church that he died for a mandate and said that if you love me, because I already showed that I loved you, right? I showed that I loved you by laying my life down and redeeming you with my blood. So now because of me, you are redeemed. And now you can have access back to the Father, back to the kingdom, back to the promises. I did that for you. Now, if you love me, now follow my instructions. This is how Mashiach loved the church. You hear that a lot. The husband's supposed to love his wife like Christ loved the church. This is why it's good for women to know and understand how Mashiach loved the church to the fullest. He didn't just lay his life down and that's it. A lot of men doing that now. Will Smith did that. He did that for a woman who didn't love him. And I believe that was a staged event, but it's a prime example. The man ruined his life, his career, defending the honor of a woman who did not love him. So now think about the people who rejected Mashiach and what he gonna come back and do. He's still married to them. They all under him now. So he's gonna do with them the same thing he said he's gonna do with his word. He's gonna cast them off. He's gonna put them away. Because they didn't love him. Husbands, love your wife like Christ. Mashiach loved the church. Let's get some more.
Love them.
You just said they didn't.
No, I'm saying if they mistreat them and abuse them and dishonor them, it's just like dishonoring and abusing themselves. And only a disturbed person would self-mutilate.
What type of man would want to deal with a woman that won't listen? You know, she thinks she knows it all and got lip and service, and you ain't gonna tell me what to do.
The same type of woman that will deal with a black man.
Let me finish the question.
Now, I'm not going to get into the book. He asked a question: what type of man would want to deal with a woman who is basically overbearing and wants to run her mouth and give an opinion every time a man is trying to instruct? Is that what Mashiach did with the church? I mean, we see what happened in the Old Testament. They pretty much did that in the Old Testament with the Most High do to them. The instruction is for our good so that we can prosper. But he asked her what type of man. Now we go into passages like let me see. Give me a second. This is I just want to pull this up real quick. That's the same book. I think it's this chapter. Hold on. Chapter 20. Give me a second, y'all. Okay. I think this is what I want. Give me a second, y'all. It says a woman that honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. All right. So a woman who honors her husband shall be counted godly of all. And it says, but she that dishonoreth him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. It says, let me see. There was one in particular I was looking for. Because he asked what type of man would want to deal with those types of things from a woman. And truth be told, a lot of women pride themselves in those types of things. You know, you even have certain men that say, man, I like my woman with a little attitude. You know what I mean? But the Most High said that a woman who honoreth her husband shall be judged wise of all. And a woman who dishonoreth her husband shall be counted ungodly. So what type of man would want to deal with that? All right, it's his question. And her response was the type of woman who would deal with a black man, which wasn't really an answer to the question that he asked. Run that back.
What type of man would want to deal with a woman that won't listen? You know, she thinks she knows it all and got lip and service. And you ain't gonna tell me what
the
to
same
do.
type of woman that will deal with a black man.
Let me finish the question. Listen to the man.
Okay. Listen to the man.
What kind of man would want to put up with that? And you're right in what you just said, but it's not a good thing. A lot of black men don't want to be dealing with some woman he got to fight with every time he need to get things done.
But if you love a black woman the right way, you won't have to fight her.
But who determines what the right way is?
She does.
That's a problem.
She does.
She does.
Well,
Ain't
the
no man
same
gonna
way
listen
you.
to that, though.
But yes, a real man will listen.
Okay, the first sentiment was the black men don't love the black women like Christ loved the church. All right, but then when the question was asked, who determines, which she already stated that, she said that the woman determines that. All right. The woman determines the right way. How many agree with that in the chat? I'm not speaking of in terms of, you know, how the Bible tells a man to deal with the woman according to knowledge. You know, certain women, all women are not the same in terms of how they want to deal with the man and things that they want from men. You know, all women want affection and love and those types of things. What I'm talking about is the standard of the relationship. All right. Who sets that standard and who determines the standard of that relationship? I want y'all to help me out in the chat. I'm gonna play some more. I'm gonna run it back a little bit though.
And will want to put up with that. And you're right in what you just said, but it's not a good thing. A lot of black men don't want to be dealing with some woman he got to fight with every time he need to get things done.
But if you love a black woman the right way, you won't have to fight her.
But who determines what the right way is?
She does.
That's a problem.
She does.
She does.
Well, the same way you. But yes, a real man will listen.
Why would a real man listen to a woman that's going to determine what the right way is?
Because a real man does not feel like they have to dominate or rule or lord over a woman.
So why is she?
He said a real man doesn't feel like he has to dominate or rule over a woman. All right. What does that mean? The Most High said in the beginning that the woman's desire is to be to her husband and that he shall rule over you. When the Apostle Paul gave the order, he said that the father is the head of Mashiach. All right, so the father is his ruler. The father is the ultimate ruler. But in terms of the hierarchy, the father is the head of Mashiach. Mashiach is the head of the man, and the man is the head of the woman. All right, so when he gave the mandate that the woman's desires to be to her husband, and he shall rule, when did that change? And where did that change according to scripture? Now, she said the woman is to determine, all right, how she is to be loved and that type of thing. I'm gonna run it back a little bit, and then we're gonna get some more.
What the right way is?
She does.
That's a problem.
She does.
She does.
Well, the same way you. But yes, a real man will listen.
Why would a real man listen to a woman that's going to determine what the right way is?
Because a real man does not feel like they have to dominate or rule or lord over a woman.
So why is she trying to dominate and rule and lord over men?
They're not. You know what?
A lot of she determines what that is.
No, determining doesn't mean that you're trying to rule or lord over things. Determining means that you want to allow.
You trying to get it your way.
No.
Okay, so we see that there is a simple misunderstanding in terminology. Let's look up the word determine. She said the woman determines, right, what the right way is. Yet she said that the husband is to love the woman as Christ loved the church. And when we look at that dynamic, we see that it's Mashiach who determined the right standard in the way that things will be prosperous between him and his people that he laid his life down for. If you love me, keep my commandments. I've already showed you that I love you. Let's look up this term. I'm gonna stop sharing this. The woman is to determine, right? Then she said that a real man doesn't try to rule and dominate over a woman. Yet you have women in certain situations who want men to dominate. So it's confusion. What does determine mean? Cause something to occur in a particular way, to be decisive in factor. Synonyms: control, decide, regulate, and direct. All right, this is what determine means. So when you determine how something is, then you are dictating it, you are controlling it. So when she was asked who dictates the right way, and she said she does, she's saying that she's the one who controls, decides, regulates, and directs, which makes her the head. Right or wrong? If I'm wrong, put a 2 in the chat. If I'm wrong, go ahead. Stop sharing that. I'm gonna pull this back up. If I'm wrong, put a 2 in the chat. I'm running back a little bit because she said that the woman dictates, right? So, or determines. And so he's saying that, how is it that the woman determines? All right, so let's get some more.
Trying to dominate and rule and lord over men.
They're not. You know what?
You
A lot of
she determined what that is.
No, determining doesn't mean that you're trying to rule or lord over things. Determining means that you want to allow.
You trying to get it your way.
No, you're not trying to
Yes,
get it
you
your
are.
way.
You're
No.
not trying to get it his way.
No, it is a mutual agreement.
You said she does.
She defines it because
She
we have to
defines it.
tell.
Why can't he define it?
Well, why can't they both come together and define?
See, now we go from her dictating and defining it to now how come they both can't dictate and define it? This is an example. All right, a prime example. Now, who dictates and decides it? Is it both or is it the woman? Because obviously it's not the man. That's out the box. The man don't determine nothing. Is it her or is it now both? Because you also find that in these situations, people come up with their own meanings for definitions. All right. Determine, all right, means what? To dictate, to control. All right. You control the outcome of something. But when you call it out and magnify it, now it's not what it's supposed to mean, because that's not a woman's designation. That's just a position that a lot of women like to wiggle themselves into. And this is why we have this notion of weak black men and strong black women. And it's in the Bible too. Let's get some more.
Why can't he define it?
Well, let me put it like this.
No, answer that question, Pastor Brooks.
I think they need to come together.
No, you said she does.
Well, because we have to express ourselves to you guys, because you don't get it.
Why would a man want to be with a woman that won't? It got to be her way.
He shouldn't want to be with a woman that it has to be
you
her
hear
way.
that?
It's not
so
that
that's
it
why
has
they're
to
leaving.
be.
You know what it all adds up to is
What?
follow suit.
It's
You
what?
know, you treat me like I treat you. If I'm good to you, then you ought to be able to be good to me.
Well, you're supposed to be good.
There's no deal about
that's not the way
you got
it
to
is.
treat me like I want to be treated.
If you love
if
God,
I'm good to you, then you be good to me in return.
No, if you love God, you're supposed to be
Yes.
good to your husband, even if he's not good to you.
So once again, I'll be good to you if you be good to me. But if you love God, then you're supposed to be good regardless. All right. Let me get it real quick. Because I think this passage right here is going to tackle a lot of different issues. I think that's, give me a second. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing that. Let me pull it up first. Give me a second, y'all. He said, if you love God, you're supposed to love your husband regardless. All right. And this is speaking it. I want to speak in common sense terms, because a lot of people like to create a lot of what ifs, you know. Well, what if you know, like I said, what somebody said, what if their husband is a heroin addict? Or what if my husband is a crackhead, or, you know, and I'll just continue on with the what ifs. What if your husband is a crackhead and he start to grow horns out the top of his head and wings out his back? And what if you already had his kids? You know, what if your husband, if given the right support and encouragement and love, what if he repent and change? What if he's on crack and you on crack with him? You know, that's the only way you could be married to somebody like that, unless y'all separated. I get that, you know. But even in that case, if you have a connection with this man and y'all are married, then where's your faith? Do you really believe in the Most High? And have you really exercised what his word said to see what type of results you'll get? How many people have really tried the word? A lot of our people had that sentiment toward the Bible altogether. I was supposed to have been pulling this up. Man, we tried the Bible. Black people been, you know, in church all these years, and that's the problem. You've been in church, but you haven't followed the instruction. We haven't loved the Most High. He says, likewise, ye wives, be in subjection to your own husbands. Somebody look that word subjection up in the dictionary, because a lot of people get offended with that word submit, but this is telling you to be in subjection. It says the action of subjugating a country or person to one's control, or the fact of being subject, subjugation or domination. That's the definition of subjection. Likewise, you wives, be in subjection to your own husbands, that if any obey not the word, right? Talking to the wives. If your husband obeys not the word, meaning if he may not be a dude that cheat on you or nothing like that, but let's say he's into paganism still, or he's eating unclean things, or let's say he may not be trying to understand the fact that we Israelites. If any obey not the word, they also may without the word, meaning you ain't trying to teach him, you ain't trying to force it down his throat. You're not trying to call him wicked and evil because, you know, he eating a pork chop sandwich or whatever, yeah, that's against the law. But through your subjection, right, it says they also may without the word be won by the chaste conversation of the wives. So if you believe this, like I said, it's a lot of circumstances that can bring up a lot of questions about this. It says, while they behold your chaste conversation coupled with fear, whose adorning, let it not be that outward adorning of the plaiting of hair and of wearing of gold or putting on of apparel. All right, this ain't telling women to not look good. You know, this ain't telling you not to look nice, but this is telling you not to use these things like how it tells you in I think that's in the Testament of Reuben, how women deck themselves to deceive men and how these women are reserved. The women who do these things are reserved, you know. And a lot of women do these things to be persuasive, you know. It says that let it be the hidden man of the heart and that which is not corruptible, even the ornament of a meek and quiet spirit, which is in the sight of Elohim great price. So when brothers pull this out right here, women feel like, oh, you're trying to keep me from what the Most High has for me, when this is what the Most High have for you. This is the instruction. You know, not to take away from what women can do in terms of their gifts, but even those things, if you read about a virtuous woman, a woman who does those things, she subjects those things to her husband by the will of the Most High. Now it's up to you to work it out, whether you want to be with a righteous man or a man that, you know, whatever, you know. A lot of people choose what they choose for different reasons. You know, a lot of women get with dudes because, you know, he may have something you want and he's able to provide that, but he may not be a righteous dude. But you still in submission to him because he can provide you with something you want. So that's up to you as an individual to choose that. Either way, this is the mandate for the woman. All right. Husbands, love your wives as Mashiach loved the church. You know, honor the wives and be respectful so that your prayers won't be hindered. We're supposed to be bringing that all together. But what we have is the result of black men who are weak. We are weak. And I ain't separating myself from my people. We've been made weak. Let's get some more.
That's right.
So then
And
what
your
you do
husband
about
is supposed to be just as simple.
You disagree
Your
with
husband
that?
is supposed to be good to you, and then you can easily be good to him. That's the problem. You know, I imagine the lady you were talking about a little bit ago. Now something went wrong where she evidently wasn't happy.
I told you
When
what
a
wrong.
woman is happy, then you don't have to worry about anything.
And what does it
Because
take to
as
make a
long as
woman
she's
happy?
loving her.
And
Loving
meaning
her
what?
fills it all. Just
So as long as a woman is happy, then that makes all of the difference. Well, what if making you happy means I have to go against something the Most High wants me to do, or against something that should be done? Is that really a man's job to make sure a woman is happy all the time, or to make sure that she's secure, make sure she's provided for, make sure she's loved? You know, happy, make sure a woman is happy, and that makes all of the difference. Happy wife, happy life. Let's get some more.
Loving her.
When you say love, do you mean correcting her, not letting her just
in
have her way?
In a loving way.
What's a
Correcting
loving
her if it's something that endangers her.
What's a loving way? Telling her the truth without being afraid?
No.
That's not love.
No. Loving
It's not
her.
loving when you tell her the truth.
No. Love her.
What does that mean? Keep saying love her. He's saying what does that mean? Does that mean correcting her? Which that's a part of love. That's a part of love. Protecting her. You know, a lot of black women, when it comes to physical appearance and bodies, a lot of black women's bodies are very attractive physically. And so a lot of black women are aware of that. And so in being aware of that, a lot of our sisters present themselves in ways to complement parts of their bodies that will cause men to lust after them, or certain types of men that they want to try to draw to them. And so when a man says that a woman shouldn't dress that way, a woman shouldn't present herself in that manner, is that not a form of protection? What if I'm out on a date with my wife and she decides she wants to go against my best wishes and wear something provocative? And me being a weak man, I go along with it and say, okay, I'm gonna go out with you anyway. You know, we get into an argument or whatever, but we still go out, right? And she got on something with half her butt cheeks out, you know, some stilettos on, and it's drawing attention from other men. Now I get offended because some other dude takes a shot at my wife, and that leads to an altercation. Now somebody ends up in the hospital, ends up dead. Or it may happen to me because I'm trying to defend the honor of a woman who's not showing any honor for herself. She's trying to draw attention to herself. Is that protection? Is that protection? Is that correction? Is that love? What does love mean? I'm gonna get some more.
Correcting her if it's something that endangers her.
What's a loving way? Telling her the truth without being afraid?
No.
That's not love.
No. Loving
it's not
her.
loving when you tell her the truth.
No, love her. If you love her, then you're not going to tell her anything wrong. You're not going to be harsh to her. You're going to treat her and respect her as of who she is. She is your wife or your woman.
Do you think that he should love her the way she think he should love her, or the way he think he should love her?
Well, who better to tell you what a woman's needs are in a relationship than the woman?
That's a good question.
So
very good question.
Yes.
So you think a woman is more capable of telling a man what her needs are than a man is telling a woman what her needs are?
Exactly.
You agree with that?
Yes.
You do agree with that?
Yes, I agree.
Both are wrong. Women don't know what they want.
That's not true.
Yeah, women. The hardest thing. Any man that try to please a woman end up in a nut house. Have you noticed that?
I don't know any that went there. No, that's not so.
They either end up in a nut house or become bombs or alcoholics.
No, that's not
because
so.
If you open the door for her, she doesn't like it.
That's
if you don't open the door for her, she doesn't like it.
That's not true.
If she tell you to get up, she doesn't like it. If you don't get up, she doesn't like. Women don't know what they want. That's why men have to turn back to God and allow God to guide them, and then they love their wife the way that Christ loved them. You cannot love your wife according to what your wife thinks you should do because women don't know what they want. Am I?
How many agree with that? He said that men can't depend on women. Now, this is the thing. There are personal connections between everybody, and everybody's personal connection is different. You know, there's no book written on how in terms of intimacy or anything like that, how men and women should, a husband and a wife, I'm gonna put it like that, should love one another. All right. And I'm speaking of love, you know, not talking about nothing else. We should all have common sense, you know, when it comes to other things, but, you know, we deal with our wives according to knowledge, you know. Some women are affectionate, some aren't so affectionate. You know, some women like to talk, some women don't like to talk so much. You know, and as a man, it's up to us to understand the women that we're with. You know, some women like, you know, when they with their husbands, they like to sit a certain type of way. You know, it's just all those types of things apply, and nothing at all is wrong with those things. But when it comes to the standard of a relationship and how it should be ran, we obviously know the proper order of that, you know. And this is what a lot of men shy away from, and a lot of our sisters go against. Let's get some more.
I'm wrong about that, Pastor.
You're wrong.
I'm wrong, Pastor.
You're wrong.
So you're saying that a man should not love Christ first and then love his wife the way Christ loved him.
No, I said that you're wrong by that statement that you made that women don't know what they want.
What woman?
It's only scriptural that the man does love his wife the way Christ loves the church.
Right, but it's not the way the woman thinks she should be loved.
Now, in a relationship, I can only speak on my marriage. I've been married 15 years. And between my husband and I, who else can tell him better than I how to love me and
Christ.
what my needs are and what my desires are?
You can't tell your husband how to love you.
Yes, I can.
No,
I can tell him what I need in the relationship for us to stay compatible, for us to stay on one accord.
Give me an example how you need to be loved.
For example, if I come in and I'm having a bad day, or, you know, I'm getting beat up by the world, or it's ministry is tough because we have to deal with people like you all the time.
You don't meet many people like me.
Yes,
no,
I
do.
Don't. Yes, I do. Believe me, you come in all forms, all shapes, all sizes, all colors.
Because of time, give me an example.
Well, I come in, and one thing my husband does graciously, he will set the jacuzzi for me. We'll get in the jacuzzi together. Sometimes he'll have supper ready for me, or he may just go out and pick me up something special just to give me that extra pep that I need after having a hard day. He knows how to treat me. My husband knows how to love his woman.
Now, any real man knows that there's nothing wrong with doing those things for your wife, you know. But what it sounds like to me in this dynamic is that she's more of the masculine role in the relationship, and he's more of the feminine role. You know, why women shouldn't have to deal with the pressures of going out and being beat up by the world. You know, that shouldn't be your position, you know. And if you're in ministry, obviously there's a lot of loopholes in what you're doing, you know. Don't even really want to get on that right now. That's a whole different discussion. But, you know, you're dealing with the pressures of the world. You're coming in stressed out. And That sounds like something that more of a man would go through, you know. Now, like I said, people's situations are different. When you get older, your children are grown. You know, you tend to see women who are in that position where they raise their children and everything. Once their children are at a certain age, then they start to pursue certain things that they have passions for, you know, whether it be a business venture or a degree or anything, you know, because that's what virtuous women do. Nobody said that women are just supposed to be in the house cooking and cleaning and taking care of the kids, you know. However, that is the unction that the Most High gave to the woman to order the house right, to raise your children right, you know, be a good keeper at home, a good steward at home, you know. And in that way, it says that a woman like that will be counted wise of all. You raise your children up, they see your example, especially if you have daughters. They see your example and they follow after your example. Whatever you have a passion for, you get them involved in it. And they start to mimic you. But it sounds like in this situation that this sister is more of the masculine role, you know. Now, with a lot of sisters today, it wouldn't sound right if a man was saying what she's saying. Man, when I come home, my woman got my food ready. She got my bath water ran, you know. We get in the tub and we eat, you know. She rubbed my back, rubbed my feet. A lot of sisters probably cringing at that right now. I ain't be doing all that. But it sounds good when she's saying it. And ironically, a lot of men don't really mind doing those types of things. Let's get some more.
Oh no! No wonder your husband didn't want to come on. Oh no! And you agree with that?
Yes, I think that's beautiful.
Do your husband treat you that way too?
Yes.
Your husband from the old school. He does not act that way.
What makes you think that?
I see your husband know that. He don't act that way. I don't care what you say. You're not being honest, Pat. Pat is not telling the truth. Pat, why are you doing that? Your husband is from the old school.
That it doesn't make any difference about an age or old school.
The older men know how to do it better than these young ones. Young ones are like that. Your husband don't act that way.
Are you from
What
the
you
old
mean
school?
like that?
Yeah. Are you from the old school?
That's why you're single. That's why you're single.
Let me say this. If I were your husband, and you, first of all, you wouldn't be going out as no minister. And if you did come in talking about draw your water and stuff, I'll make you quit right then, because it should be the other way around, not that way.
No, it should.
A woman ain't got no business going out of the home, working that hard, and she got to come back stressed, and especially if she has children. You shouldn't be going out there anyway.
Life is hard, whether you're working outside of the home or in the home.
No, right.
Life is hard.
That's right. That's what
he said. What about the scriptures that speak on the wise wife that buys land in that marketplace and runs a business? Exactly. Nothing wrong with that. But those are virtuous things, you know. The first attribute of a virtuous woman, according to what's written, is that the heart of her husband does safely trust in her. So nothing wrong with that. As long as these things are done in the right mindset and for the right purpose. You know, if a woman can do all of these things and still fulfill the Most High's will, then that is a virtuous woman, according to the Bible. All right, let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Where is it at? Let me get it up. It's in actually 2 references. Give me a second. Search thing be acting up sometimes, man. Let's see. Fine. Let's see. Okay. Let me make sure this is the other place too. Okay. Yeah, there it is. Let's do it like this. I want to show y'all the consistency. All right. It's Proverbs 31:10. It says, who can find a virtuous wife? All right. For her price is far above rubies. All right. So right now it's letting you know her value. But then it says, the heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. So this is, after giving you her price, the first attribute of the virtuous wife. All right. Let's go somewhere else. It says in Sirach 26, blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. So in other words, people say happy wife, happy life, but it's really the other way around according to the scripture. Now you can chalk that up how you want to. This don't qualify for a wicked man. But blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoiceth her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. You know, I believe the Most High want us brothers to get back to the position that he want us to be in, so that we can be at peace and our nation can be at peace. How many women rejoice their husbands? It's another scripture that says, let the wives be sure that they reverence their husbands. Submit to your husbands. Be subject unto your own husband. All those references. How many brothers are bold enough to stand on this and let the chips fall where they fall? This ain't for wickedness' sake. It's for truth's sake. The virtuous wife. I thank the Most High for my wife. I'm not bragging or boasting, but she comes from what most of us come from. We all come from backgrounds where things was out of order. And for anybody, man or woman, who willing to adopt this and repent and make this word a part of your life, you ought to be commended and rewarded. All right, let's get some more. We finna be almost through with this. Let me pull this back up. Let's get some more. Gotta work on my media skills, clicking these buttons. All right, here we go. Get some more.
Why God made your role to be in the home and his role to be outside the home.
That is not
to
true.
go out and provide for. Are you saying that's not true?
That is not true. If
You're a pastor.
if you read the scriptures,
agree with that,
Reverend
Pat?
Peterson,
Am I wrong
if
about
you
that?
read the scripture,
Wait,
I kind
there
of
were
like the
all
idea, but
there
See,
were there were all kind of women. What
Uh-huh.
about Lydia, the seller of
I don't know
purple?
about no Lydia.
The Bible does tell the woman once again to be keepers at home, right? So a woman's real ministry, true ministry, in her home with her children. The elder women are to teach the younger women to love their husbands. They're to instruct the younger women on how to order their households and how to love their children and different things like that, because we need support in that. We need encouragement in that. Truth be told, we don't need our sisters out on the front line trying to share the gospel with the nations and deal with ministries and dealing with people day to day and all. That's not the position of a woman. That's stress. What being a pastor is, a leader of a congregation, is the same as being a general in the army, because you're fighting a spiritual war. You're the leader of a flock. Most High didn't designate no woman to be in that position. It's too much that come with that. And for you to have to deal with that means you have to neglect a major part of your life, your household, your children, and your husband. Think about what men have to do oftentimes, and how women oftentimes feel stressed for their husbands having to be away or having to tend to a certain amount of business for a certain amount of time. It takes him away from his family. So what would that do for you, seeing that you are the primary caregiver of the home? What would that do for you? You still got to come home and tend to the house, nurture the home, cook the food. And that's just going to add more stress. That's going to make that a job. This is oftentimes why men and women who work, you had a man working and a woman working, and the situation may still not work out. Some do. Let's get some more.
But I know about you. Pat, you agree with me?
That's
I kind of like your idea where you think, but
that's
that
God's
doesn't
idea
mean
too.
that
It would
doesn't
be
mean
nice.
I'm right.
God's idea
Yeah,
too.
it would be nice.
Yeah,
right.
and that's what I'm trying to do, to get that family back in order, where instead of making babies out of wedlock, get married first and have your children.
Yes.
The mother stay home and watch over the children, so they have somebody there. The father's out providing, and the woman's at home doing what God created women to
but
do.
you can do that
You talk a
without-
good game.
Yeah,
You
Hold on,
talk a
just hold on,
good
just
game,
hold on.
but you're not
Hold on.
married.
Hold on a minute. So what?
You can do that without saying that the man is ignorant, the black man is ignorant, and all that. It doesn't take that to get it in order the way you're talking about.
What do you mean?
What you do is you teach that. Instead, see what you're teaching, you're making black people angry because of the things that you're saying.
But I'm
Now, I can kind of roll with her on that point. A lot of times when we're addressing our people, It's how we come off. And truth be told, the Most High said that our people are hard-headed and stiff-necked. So some things need to be said in a manner that's thorough and that's real and that's provocative, that calls our people to sit down and think. You know, I don't believe in all the disrespect and the cutting down, but when something ain't right and you dealing with a people who hard-headed, you got to go on and tell them how it is. I don't believe that's his approach. Oftentimes, I believe his intention is to down our people in a lot of ways. A lot of what he says is true, but I do agree with in some manners how we should come off in a setting like this, how we fellowshipping. You know, it's not about cutting people down and, you know, making people feel inadequate. It's just about telling the truth. You know, if we're guilty of anything that we discuss, and just like we read about the men who fornicate and who the men who are used to opprobrious words and the curses that come on you, you know, that's just the truth of the matter. It's a lot of our brothers who live like that. You know, a lot of that stuff is promoted through the music, stuff we see on TV. We hear it all the time. But all this stuff is just conditioning us to be depleted. And it's only by the Most High's mercy that it hasn't really worked to the full like the enemy wanted to work. But these are things we have to understand. You know, we have to come off the right way when we dealing with our people. We can't be hateful, you know, and we have to be willing to deal with whatever come with that, whatever ridicule, whatever disagreement, you know, because if we got to take it to the book, we can take it to the book. That's what I'm going to do. I'm being nice by trying to talk about it. But if we get deep into this book, then now you got the Most High to deal with on that issue. And that's all I'm trying to get people to see. Don't worry about the person standing in front of you speaking. It's about the message. Most High always sent his message by unlikely people. You know, people who was least expected to do it, people who were undesirable, you know, and that's to test the hearts of those who are sincere. Let's get some more. We almost through.
What you just said would work a whole lot better than what you been
not
saying.
with Pat. I mean, not with Pastor Brooks.
Yeah, it would.
Yes,
Pastor Brooks don't like that order.
Yes.
I do. I love
she likes that order.
So you would love to be home and not go out and work and not go out and preach and raise the children. Let your husband go out and provide.
My husband is the best provider.
That's not the question. You would love to have it the way I just said.
Oh no.
Why not?
Because God put it in me to obtain some things in life. I don't have to break bread to be blessed.
But
raising
children,
I can be an entrepreneur, run a business, be a mother, be a wife, be a student, be a minister, run
that's
a
not
ministry.
From God, though.
Yes, it is.
God
from
wants
God.
you to be a married woman with children, watching over the children, loving your husband and your children in the right way.
If that's the case,
you want your husband to go out and do those
if that's the case, why aren't you married? You talk a good game, but you're not. You're.
And that goes into what we was reading about the virtuous woman. If you read that whole chapter, virtuous women are capable of a lot. However, it's only counted as virtue when it's done in the right order, the right aspect. You know, virtuous women who are capable of accomplishing a lot and doing great things don't despise their husbands. They don't disregard their husbands because they feel like they can go off and be their own women. Of course you can do that. But the whole idea is for both the man and the woman to be blessed. The Most High. Let me show you something. We're I guess we through with that. The rest of it is they pretty much just chime back and forth. But let me pull this up real quick. I'm gonna show you how the Most High, our forefather Abraham and his wife Sarai, are a prime example given in the writings of Peter of how the dynamic should be between the husband and wife. This is what the Most High models. He says in Isaiah 51 and 1, he says, "Hearken to me, ye that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Yahuwah. Look unto the rock whence ye are hewn, and to the hole of the pit whence ye are digged." Talking about Mashiach. Mashiach is the one before he came in the flesh who dealt with our forefather Abraham. That's why he said, before Abraham was, I am. He said, look unto Abraham, your father, and Sarai that bear you. For I called him alone and blessed him and increased him. So we all know that the many women in the Bible, they were all virtuous. But all these women were subjected to their husbands. They all reverenced their husbands. They all honored their husbands. They didn't count themselves any more or less than their husbands. You know, and because of that, the Most High blessed our forefather, and because he blessed him, he blessed his whole family, he blessed his whole house. When it's saying he blessed him, that's not saying he blessed him and didn't bless her. Because he said a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. So if he blessed him, what does that mean? It's just that when it comes to the dynamic, he's acknowledging our forefather Abraham as the head in that dynamic. But he blessed him. So if by blessing him, he blessed his whole house, he blessed his wife by default. Are our sisters strong and angry, and are our black brothers weak and docile? That's the question. Still haven't really been established, that question. We can acknowledge a lot of different things. You know, I've seen some sisters in the chat say brothers is moist. That's kind of funny when I hear that, moist. But once again, that insinuates the actual heart of the matter. You know, I don't think brothers is moist. I just think that a lot of brothers are lost. A lot of brothers are broken. You know, don't know who they are. Don't really have a real unction in life, like she was saying. Black men feel like they have to be validated in life. Well, what man don't want to be validated in life? You know, what man wants to get with a woman and not feel validated? Knowing, when most women know that a lot of what they do, what they can do rather, can make or break that man mentally, physically, and spiritually. A lot of women know that certain things that they say or do can provoke a man or cause him to think or to feel a certain type of way. So what's wrong with a man wanting to feel validated from a woman if a man can feel those types of things from a woman? Vice versa. Vice versa. Just something to think about. This is a discussion that really needs to be had, you know, and it's gonna continue to be had. We see it happening on other platforms, you know. And one thing about this platform is that we like to address issues from a standpoint of understanding. You know what I mean? A lot of platforms are dealing with this issue. This issue is it's an issue that affects all of our people. There are a lot of people who still dealing with this within Israel. A lot of Israelites, people who know we Israelites, still dealing with these same worldly issues, and we don't have outlets to address them. You know, we wrong for thinking that because the Most High is waking us up that we got it all together now. And all we got to do is praise the Most High and nothing else matters. Well, the Most High has an innumerable amount of angels before his throne that sing praises before him daily. He don't need us to do that. What he need us to do is to follow his instructions in the earth, to be rulers in the earth. And he gave us a standard in how to do that. Praising the Most High and you know, Jesus is my husband and all that is no longer an excuse for the lack of respect or the lack of respect that we exhibit toward one another. If Jesus is your husband, Mashiach, I'm gonna call him Mashiach. But if he's your husband, he's mine too. He's married to the nation. But if you with a man and you're married to that man, then he is your husband. Mashiach is not your husband. Mashiach is married to Israel. He's married to the nation. If you have a husband and you say Jesus is your husband, then you are an adulterer. Jesus is the one that told Eve in the beginning, before he came in the flesh, that your desire is to be to your husband, and he shall rule over you. He's the one who said that. He's the one who said a man shall leave his father and mother and cleave to his wife, and they two shall be one flesh. The only way you can be somebody's husband is to consummate. How does Jesus have so many wives? So many sisters saying Jesus their husband. Well, if he's your husband and you're single, then be obedient to the word. If you holler yourself out to be single, then that's between you and the Most High. But that's no longer an excuse for the lack of order that we display and for constantly being in agreement with this order. But I'm gonna take a break, y'all. I appreciate y'all hanging in there with me. You know, this is a tough topic to deal with. One that, you know, the most I can say is one that it causes you to either love or hate. You know, it draws people in, and for some people, it you know, it takes them away. They don't want to be involved with it. You can't build without counting the cost, knowing what you're dealing with. We supposed to be building a nation. You know, it's a lot of brothers right now who have children with women and they separated. And this is an opportunity for them to consider that, man, you know, maybe I can go back and work things out with her. You know, if I change some things about myself, if I change the way I think, if I quit going out so much, getting drunk, getting high, quit chasing women, you know, if I change some things about myself, you know, I don't need to go out to the club and get drunk. I can sit at home and have me a drink and be with my wife and my children. I ain't saying getting drunk, but, you know, when they go to bed, I can sit outside or whatever and have me a drink. You know, there's brothers out there that hopefully these types of things can make them think about that. Because we are the head. We are. But ain't nothing out there activating the head. See, the whole head is sick. But they want to keep the whole head sick and just control the body. You know, that's not an excuse. Because the head's sick, the body gonna follow. If the head's sick, the body gonna shut down. If your head is sick, your body will shut down. That's what's happened to our people. We are no longer a people. I'm just trying to help y'all out, man. I'm trying to help my people out. I'm trying to help myself out. You know, these types of things ain't easy to talk about. But once again, overcoming being docile, we have to do that as Black men. We have to say and declare the things that the Most High want us to declare in these times. You know, whether they hear or whether they forbear. Let's take a break, y'all. Come back, I'm gonna close out. Thank y'all for hanging out with me. Hope this is edifying. Come back and check some comments. Shout out to my Salt of the Earth brothers. You know, I want to thank the brothers for all their love and support. I want to thank the Most High once again for my wife. You know, she's been a real support and help to me in a lot of ways, even that I haven't acknowledged, you know. So I want to thank the Most High for her. She put up with me, you know, put up with her, but I thank the Most High for, you know, I thank the Most High for all of you brothers and sisters as well, you know. So let's take a break. When we come back, we're going to close out. Shalom and blessings. I'll be right back. I'm gonna drop the link in the chat for anybody who wanna chime in and give some thoughts. Let's see. Hold on. Go to link. Anybody want to chime in and give some closing thoughts or get some thoughts on what we dealt with and discussed? Feel free. Love to have you on the platform, as always. I do want to mention concerning the website, once again, I want to thank everybody who has went on to the site. We still doing our giveaways. One thing I'm doing on the site for now is anybody who goes onto the site and spends $50 or more I'm going to automatically include a free customized brand shirt for the brothers and the sisters. So we'll be able to track that once the order is placed, and we'll add that in there for that. Also, I'm going to get with the brother Hal, and we're going to come up with a way to distribute some other things to the family, you know. And I want to thank the brother Hal Goodwin once again for his sponsorship in that. And so anybody who hasn't went on to the site, feel free, check it out. Got a lot of nice things on the site, some things that'll last you for a while, you can keep with you, you know. And this is strictly for everybody who inquire of how to support what we do. We don't really accept cash apps or anything like that. But like the sisters mentioned, you know, the sellers of purple, you know, my wife is pretty much the main designer of that site. So most of the designs you see on the site are done by her, you know. So she's behind the creative part. So she's playing a virtuous role in that. So may the Most High be a blessing to everybody who has went on to the site. I want to thank everybody who has reached out concerning your merchandise. I'm glad to know that everybody's satisfied with their purchases. And I'm really looking forward to the near future in these giveaways. You know, we're more of givers on this site. And so that's something we're looking forward to, especially for the brothers and sisters that's interested in that. And so we're going to, I guess I'm going to close out on that note. Nobody wanted to chime in. Like I said, this is a touchy topic. You know, we saw one person chime out earlier, and we didn't really get as much views as we got last night. But one thing this lets me know is that when it comes to calling out the things that happen to us at the hands of others, we're all on board. But when it comes to true repentance, true acknowledgement of our own ways, we haven't really come to one accord with that. And that's the main thing, you know. The Bible says that we're going to come crying and weeping, looking for Zion. He says when we get there, we're going to loathe ourselves for our sins. And so we got a long way to go as individuals, as people, you know, and what we're going to do at the Salt of the Earth is the best we can to encourage our people in the right way. We're going to challenge our people in the right way. You know, most of us don't know what love is. And so when we hear these types of messages, we don't perceive it as love. But the very people who faking like they love us, the Bible call them our lovers, right? They're the very ones who benefit from us having to face these things, or they're benefiting from us not dealing with these issues, rather, and allowing these issues to cause us to deteriorate and decay. They benefit from that, you know, and the Bible calls them our lovers. So on that note, I'm going to go ahead and shut this down, brothers and sisters. I'm going to get some rest, and I hope that everybody else do the same. I want to thank everybody once again. And once again, I put the links to those videos up earlier. Come get this work, and the early church fathers video that was just put up. Go check those out. Share those with people who are steeped in falsehood and you want to help them come out. You know, don't be combative with the truth. Try to be as edifying as possible. And try to allure people into the truth. You know, but those videos are up on the Salt of the Earth platform. You can share those videos and go view them at any time. And also, trueebry.com is the website. Go check out the website. We got the brother Cleo back in the rotation. I was thinking about Brother Bunya, but Brother Cleo with Kingdom Conversations Wednesday nights, 8 o'clock Central, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern. And so that's back in the rotation. Look forward to seeing you brothers and sisters for that. Also, anybody who have any music, any merchandise or anything you want to share with the family, be it a prayer, anything you feel that the Most High has revealed to you and showed to you, and you want to share it with the family, send those things to us via email, saltoftheearth144@gmail.com, ebrystore@gmail.com. You have morriscales1@hotmail.com. You got alberba9@gmail.com. Also, like, share, and subscribe to all of our platforms. You have the Salt of the Earth platform. You have the Beginners channel, Ibri Ben Yaakov platform. You have Kadar Scales as well, his platform. Like, share, and subscribe to all those platforms. On that note, I want to give a shout out to all of my brothers, Salt of the Earth brothers, once again. Hope you brothers doing well. Hope y'all getting some rest. You know, for those that are able to do that or off work right now, a couple of them may be still out there. But shout out to them. I want to give a shout out to my brother Shofar over at Jacob's People. Shalom and blessings to him. Shalom and blessings to all the other platforms who, in sincerity and in truth, is doing work for the Most High, trying to edify your people, trying to uplift your people. Shalom to you as well. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. This has been a Salt of the Earth Productions. I want to thank you, brothers and sisters, once again for your time. See y'all Wednesday night, Kingdom Conversations, tomorrow night. Shalom.
Everywhere I go, the children rising. Everywhere I go, the children rising. I saw them just rise up. The wicked running, I saw them just rise up.